Hello, hello, and welcome to the Gothic Jungle. Today, I want to take you on a tour of a botanical garden I visited in Nancy, France. More specifically, the Jean-Marie Pelt Botanical Garden. I apologize for my terrible French butchering of the pronunciation. I went in January, so the outside wasn't as beautiful as it is in the spring, but I was so excited to find a garden while I was abroad. My initial pull was to see these giant lily pads that they have pictures of when I googled it, but unfortunately when I got there, the room they were in was closed. But I'm always down to visit a botanical garden, and I love seeing different setups for different types of plants. For instance, I loved seeing the carnivorous room set up with the table in the middle and all of the different plants the taller ones in the middle, and then they kind of spread out around the rest of the table and all of the different rocks that they had them growing on. I thought that was very interesting, and it's always fun to see some Drosera. I think I need to add some as my next plant to my collection because these guys are just so much fun. It was also cool that they had examples of how these different carnivorous plants attach to structures. So here, like bricks on a wall, they have the pinguicula kind of poking out of the cracks, and one of them bloomed, which is lovely to see. I also loved seeing all the little waterfalls that they had for different types of rocks that the carnivorous plants like to dig themselves into. They also had a few plants behind glass, and I thought this one was particularly interesting because it looks like a flower even though it is a carnivorous plant. Walking into this next room was so exciting and so cool because it's the first glance you get as kind of all of the anthuriums and the larger plants that you'll see in a moment as I walk through. And I'm not sure if I got it on camera, but kind of in an arch above you as you walk in, there's also a bunch of nepenthes. I forget what they're called, but they're large carnivorous plants. So that was kind of a nice transition from the carnivorous room to this room. And look at this giant anthurium. Oh my gosh, just that huge like trailing leaf. I'm not sure if it's a wendligeri. Guys, I don't know how to pronounce any of these plants. But those are just gorgeous. And then of course I had to include all of the darker plants and the more velvety gothic-y plants. And seeing these varicosum just stacked into the wall like this was also really cool because it's like, oh my gosh, wait, I literally have that plant. So cool. Moving on to what I considered the swamp room, they had some banana trees in here, which was super cool, and I could see some kind of in the back starting to grow some bananas, and then what I assumed to be their flower for the tree. But that was very cool to see in a garden inside. And then we have all sorts of little swamp guys, little lily pad-esque plants, and I'm assuming this room is generally where they would keep those giant lily pads, but maybe they just like took them out or something, or maybe there was just a whole room secondary that I couldn't see. That was a little sad, but I still enjoyed seeing these little guys. I'm not sure if they're quite the same as my Pilea peperomides, but they look like they could be cousins, so that was really cool. Also, I loved seeing these giant roots coming out of the water as well. They kind of remind me of mangrove trees. I mean, they very much could have been, but that was so cool. Of course, spotted another gothic plant in there. I don't remember what this guy's name was, but I had these black velvety leaves with the dark purple backs. Very cool. And then, of course, you get into the more jungle-esque vibe walking through. This reminded me more so of the New York Botanical Garden, with just walking through a literal rainforest of giant trees all around you. And look at these like bright pink berries. That's insane. That's so cool. And I just wanted to express how big these leaves were. They're absolutely giant, way bigger than my head, and they just went all the way up to the tree. You see the It's not pallitiflorium, it's something else. The staghorn fern type-esque things. Very, very cool to see those on the top, and I almost missed them because I didn't look up until I was filming that shot. But this one was very, very cool. Again, I love going to botanical gardens. I love feeling like I'm in a jungle. And look at these giant leaves. I don't think I've ever seen a begonia with that big of leaves, ever. It's crazy. These could be used as like shades. Moving on to the desert room with all of the air plants and the cacti. I loved these big guys. They looked like drums. They were very, very cool. And then once I move my camera, you'll see it. Oh, you could just see it in the back, but I'll get it in the next clip. This giant, I don't even know what to call it. It's not even a succulent anymore. It's huge. This is absolutely massive. Like, this is a full-size greenhouse. Do you see how large this thing is? Do you see how much room it is taking up? That was just blew me away when I walked in. It was incredibly, incredibly impressive. I didn't even know that those could get that big, and it was just so beautiful. Like, the way that the leaves were just, like, curling over each other. They were absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. That was, like, probably one of the highlights of visiting this botanical garden. It was so, so gorgeous. I also loved the water features throughout it. This was the first time I'd seen like a river going throughout a botanical garden. I thought that was really, really cool. I know sometimes you see ponds, and I always like the water features as well. It really adds to the jungle vibe, but that was really, really exciting to see. And then more varicosum, just looking at these backs in the sunlight was absolutely gorgeous. And then giant anthuriums. I'm always so amazed every time that I go to a botanical garden and you just see really how big these leaves can get and just the way that they're displayed. I also liked this air plant setup. I liked how it was just on different pieces of bark spiraling through, even though these little guys, they're pretty tiny, but they still got their own spotlight, which was nice. And then this was the kind of entryway that I was going in and out of to go to different rooms, but I liked that they included plants in that as well, and you'll see me kind of zoom in on some of the orchids. That was really, really nice. So you have these white ones, and I love that little splash of purple and pink in the middle. They're just so beautiful. Orchids are really nice plants, and this guy was growing so many flowers. I feel like I haven't seen that many from just one plant, but they were just beautiful and perfectly white. And then I have the fun pink one. This one was also really, really nice to see. I like the splashy, splattery pattern that this one had. Oh, and I also spotted some Hoya blooms. I forgot about this. They were so pretty. I don't think I had seen... No, I did see Hoya blooms at one of the New York Botanical Garden ones, but these are always so, so fun to see in person. They look like little stars. I didn't see any of like the goopy stuff that usually comes off of them, but they're so cool. I love Hoya blooms. They're so beautiful. And then I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of outside. Like I said in the intro, I did go in January, so the weather wasn't the nicest. Or not January. Maybe I went in February, because, there's a couple of plants blooming outside. But these gardens really do get very, very beautiful. And it was huge. It was way bigger than I thought it was going to be. You can kind of see the greenhouse on that end, and then in the next clip I point out where it was. But I walked around the grounds for a little bit, and it was just a really lovely experience. And I found another mini greenhouse where they were just growing all different kinds of oranges, and it looked like they had some kind of activity where I think they were teaching kids about oranges, and then they would like let them take them or something like that. But overall, I had a fantastic time, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing another botanical garden from a different country. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys soon. Video's over now. Bye!